Hi everybody, you're listening to the Hisessions Hawaii podcast where we talk about everything local and beyond. I'm Johnny Mina Soto, your host, and joining me today is Kyle Shimabukuro and Devon Nekoba.
Howdy.
Before we begin, let me remind all of our listeners the ways they can stay in touch with the show. There's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Hisessions. And go to SoundCloud, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts to listen to the podcast. And finally, you can email us at hisessions@yahoo.com to get in touch with us. As Devon said, if you have people you want to see on the show, suggestions, reach out. We'll reach out to them. If you'd like to help the show get more music on the channel, please go to patreon.com and donate. We don't have any new patrons this month or this week. Sorry, it's been a few weeks since we've recorded. So
our bad. They're bad.
Yeah,
they were sick.
Yeah, we separately, Kyle and I got sick, and so it's been a couple of weeks. But we can thank Kupu Kupu Landscaping, Landscape Architects. Call Kevin Yokomura 808-722-8685 for a free estimate. He's actually working on a house that we have in Pearl City right now. Doing some...
We don't collectively have a house that we own that he's working on.
No.
Somebody else's house.
Somebody else's house.
Don't get...
He's doing some irrigation. Word. Okay. And for Ruger Market, I had the pork santas today and the adobo because of
you got the mix. You know, it was weird because I was thinking of doing
but
that.
The adobo was actually really good.
Okay.
I had patele.
For those of you who aren't familiar with any of this, and all of these foods sound like we're speaking a foreign language. Well, it is a foreign language, actually. Guisantes is pork and peas with like a tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce, yeah.
And the adobo is like a
vinegar.
It's like a vinegar-based chicken sauce.
I don't remember the last time I ate adobo.
Those are Filipino dishes, by the way. What he ate was patele, which is actually Spanish. I always thought, for some reason, it was Samoan, but it's actually...
It sounds Samoan.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a Samoan word, but it's not. It's actually a Spanish thing or Puerto Rican thing. So
Yeah. But it's all good. Very good stuff. Okay, at this time, we'd like to introduce our esteemed guest. Here, I have this intro here. I say Mina Soto is a singer-songwriter and host of Artist Loving Artist podcast, which you can find exclusively on Spotify. It's a podcast that speaks to artists about their influences in music and just in general. And you are a musician as well. So thank you so much for being here.
No, thank you for being here. For you being here, for allowing me to be here. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Now we hooked up, but you know a lot of our friends. So let me just start by saying, how do you know Justin and Paula?
I don't know. I just reached out to them. It's been very organic with the podcast. I just kind of started it on my own. I love Hawaiian music. I love artists from Hawaii, and I'm just kind of my own booking manager. So I would just reach out to them, and they were really kind and decided to be on. And they're all really cool people. So yeah, Justin, Paula, Johnny Helm, all these people. Wow. Johnny Helm is a good friend of ours for sure.
I just saw him on the plane.
Did you really?
Yeah, when we were flying up to Japan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was on the plane, and I'm like, Johnny?
He's everywhere, man. You think I'm everywhere? He's everywhere.
Yeah, and he was flying up for a gig. He was going up with his wife to do a gig, and I was like, oh.
How did you get introduced to Hawaiian music, being born and raised in LA and all in the mainland?
I came here maybe 10 plus years ago with a friend, and I just immediately fell in love with everything Hawaii, like I'm sure most people do, but I find a lot of similarities with Hispanic culture and Hawaiian culture, and I don't know, something about it really, really speaks to me, so it's just kind of connected in my soul now.
Cool.
Yeah.
And when you mean, so Hispanic, your background is?
Yeah, Mexican-American,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, a lot of the cultural things, the family dynamics, the music is something like very prevalent.
Stuff.
Yeah, a lot of like, people gathering, playing music on Sundays. That's pretty popular with us too. So
A lot of Hawaiians is transplanted to Nashville, right? Recently.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot about that for sure. But Nashville, I haven't been to Nashville though. I would like to go.
I thought you were based in Nashville. You're based
No, I'm based in Austin.
Austin,
Texas.
I'm sorry.
They're very similar though. From what
John
I
gave
hear.
me the wrong information.
My bad.
I was like, how did you get? Wait, what?
That's my fault.
No, it's cool. It's very similar.
Okay, well
Austin?
tell us that. Okay, you started in LA, but you end up in Austin. How does that work?
I was born in LA, but I was raised mostly in El Paso, Texas. So it's a lot of like Americana country music that I really grew up on. And moved to Austin when I was like 20 years old. Just had to get out of there, and then met a lot of people, played with a lot of people, and just kind of kept going from there. So
Austin has a really big music
Yeah.
culture. Actually,
And the comedy scene now is growing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like LA is definitely in Austin for comedy now. It's pretty insane. Like Joe Rogan lives there. All those
Yeah.
people live
Yeah.
there. So
plus, it's the whole Texas thing, so you get to do whatever you want.
whatever you want to do.
Basically,
Have you gone?
That's good.
Have you gone to the mothership?
We've tried to go. You have to show up at a certain time, kind of like the Comedy Store in LA. We haven't been able to get in, but yeah, it's popular spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wait, the what?
It's called the Mothership.
It's called the Mothership.
It's,
I thought you were. I was like, is that
That's
code
Joe
for
Rogan's
something,
comedy
or-
club.
yeah.
Oh,
It's popular.
Okay,
It's
okay.
very
Yeah.
popular.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Huh.
He has a lot of big names there, and then slowly bringing them to live
Oh,
there
yeah,
now.
Definitely.
So
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a cool, thriving city, but we're kind of burnt out on it a little bit. That's why we
Yeah.
come here so often.
Well, because our friend Clay Campagna used to live in Austin and
Oh,
play
cool.
music. He came up here, learned to play blues guitar, and then said, "I'm gonna move to Austin and see what I can do."
I love
And when he was talking about that whole music scene, it's a trip because he goes, you can walk down the street and bar to bar to bar to
Yeah.
bar, and each bar has live music, and each bar, like, you listen to this band over here, and then you walk like 3 steps, and there's another band, and they're playing
Completely
fully on,
different.
and you cannot hear what this band is playing from what this band is playing. They trade back and forth with gigs and stuff, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
wild, man.
It's a very collaborative city, but yeah, it's changed a lot since I moved there like 15 years ago. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not as accessible anymore to be like a singer-songwriter. It's difficult. You have to have someone booking you or know somebody, and it's like, I just want to play a show, I just
Oh,
want to play a
interesting.
couple gigs. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
different, but
So I guess all the
still
influx of people kind of made it.
definitely the California people, which I'm from California, so it's okay. But yeah, I can say that again.
the landscape has changed, yeah, in the
It
past
has.
4 years.
Yeah, it's a big tech town now. Everything's changed, but it's still pretty cool. Yeah.
And then for you, music-wise, your background started in singer-songwriter stuff, or
Yeah, I was in orchestra when I was young, and I just kind of drawn to like melodies and writing, and picked up a guitar. My dad taught me a little bit, and that's all it's ever been for me. Just like simple chords and writing songs, and been in a few bands, but never anything like like a 6-piece band. Always keep it simple. Kind of focus on the songwriting part.
so your influences, James Taylor.
Yeah, Jackson
Okay.
Brown,
Jackson
he's my
Brown,
hero.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
James Taylor, yeah.
Jackson Brown did so the song "Doctor My Eyes,"
Oh,
right?
I love that.
I mean, it's a great song. It's a pop song. It's been played to death. So I haven't listened to that song in 25 years probably, And then he does this Playing for Change. Is everyone familiar with the Playing for Change?
Yes, I follow those closely.
The Playing for Change is they do all of these collaborations with a lot of musical artists, and then they have people from all over the world playing on the same song.
Oh,
And then like proceeds from there go to they help.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like the Monamele here, where
Yeah.
It's very so
They've
yeah.
partnered with Monamele, so like John Cruz did one, and
wow.
He did a Joker Man version, Bob Dylan's. It's one of the best versions of that song I've ever heard.
John Cruz?
John
Yeah.
Cruz.
Of
I love
course.
John Cruz.
Of course,
Oh,
John
God.
Cruz.
John Cruz, he does
He's
a
like the
killer
Hawaiian
Joker.
Jackson Brown. That's how I see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
that's a good
You know?
comparison.
Yeah.
But then, anyway, so Jackson Brown did, as one of the videos, he did a Doctor My Eyes acoustic version, and he has all these people from all over the world play. It's so good. It made me excited about that song again after not listening to it for a long time. I'll play it for you guys after when we're done
Okay.
with the show.
That's a good one. That's a
Nice.
good one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
So you move out to I want to say Nashville again. Jesus.
Maybe
I don't
I'm
know why-
supposed to live in Nashville.
I know. The
It's a
universe is
sign,
telling you
yeah.
something.
Maybe I
right now.
should. Yeah.
No, I think it's just because a lot of Hawaiian artists have moved there.
That's
so-
interesting. That's kind of yeah,
Because it's far, dude.
very fun.
Like you think about that's the funny thing is you think about Austin, and I'm like, well, Austin's far, but it's Texas. Like you gotta go a whole nother couple of states
Okay, so
to the east in order to get to.
I have no clue where we are. So if you're in a plane and you're heading to Nashville
Yeah.
versus Austin. How long more is a plane ride from Hawaii?
Probably from Hawaii to Austin is about 7-8 hours nonstop.
Okay, it's like going to Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was actually we were just talking about. We were wondering like how far to Japan is it from here?
That's about 7-8 hours.
Okay, and then to Nashville maybe another 3 hours.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
okay,
I didn't
then
know it was that much
gotta,
farther.
It's pretty
you gotta
far,
get
yeah.
off the plane and then you gotta drive to Nashville. There's not like a like
Wow.
you land. At least that's what happens with Justin when he gets off the plane. He's
Oh,
gotta
yeah?
drive like an hour to get to where
Oh, wow,
he's
wow.
living in that area. So,
He might live in the outskirts maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool.
and my wife's aunts live out in Nashville, so that's the only reason we kind of remotely know
yeah.
where it is.
Mm.
But
So do you go often?
no, actually, I've never been because I'm like, I ain't taking no 9-12 hour trip to go. Nah, I'm good.
That's
but
funny.
it's interesting how the two cities have been synonymous with each other with regards to music culture, right? Because it started sort of underground and then it came up, and then at the same time they both kind of exploded. And Hawaii people have gone to Austin. Hawaii people have gone to Nashville. The Nashville thing, I think, more for the countryside. Austin more for the rock side, blues, that
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing. So
definitely.
if you're gonna do blues like Clayton did blues, it would be Chicago, Austin. If you wanted to do country and sort of get into that area, you'd probably go to Nashville, only because all the songwriting, all the basically it's kind of where the gigs are too, right?
Yeah, I would guess that there's more places to play there now, or more accessible places.
Well,
yeah.
it's funny. A lot of Hawaiian artists from I'd say 2000 to 2010 were going to LA, and Justin was one of them. And when I talked to these artists, like I thought, oh, there's probably better paying gigs in LA. There's more gigs because it's a bigger place, and they're like, no. Actually, the gigs pay terribly.
I would imagine. Yeah.
And it's and so I think maybe that's why Nashville has become the new spot where everybody's been headed instead of LA.
Yeah, because you come Hawaii and they want you to play for 4 hours and get paid $100.
Right. So everyone's just looking. But is that well? At least what about Austin? Like, do you can you get? Well, you're saying you need a booker now and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, my husband, he's played in a few bands, and you can get some pretty good gigs, but I feel like you really have to network and know people to get those solid shows at like Stubbs and Emos, and but they're all great venues.
Or corporate gigs.
Corporate He's played a couple of those. Yeah.
Those are the good ones.
You and your husband play music separately and together?
We never played together. We
Oh, really?
will no. I mean, we'll jam together, and we actually like to write a lot of jingles together, which are really good. But we never
I'm not
played
sick. I
live.
had water put on the wrong
Oh,
pipe.
you're
I'm
good.
sorry.
No, you're good.
Need a break?
I'm gonna cough on Kyle. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. He's played with a few bands differently, but yeah, mine's more like I don't know. Just
So he does guitar as well?
he's a drummer.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. All right.
He's
kind of
somewhere
music?
down there.
He's in the room on the side. Like, somebody
Yeah.
talking about me?
He's like me. He does a lot. He loves jazz. He plays a lot of rock, indie rock. He's played for John Cruz and Tavana a couple times on
nice.
some studio stuff, and yeah, he's
Oh.
kind of connected too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys have such a connection to the Hawaii music
Yeah,
scene. It's really interesting.
It is really, and I'm really happy about that because it just, again, like I said, it's just an extension of like how I feel about the islands, and I just love coming here. So I'm happy to incorporate it into passion projects. I feel lucky.
Are
Yeah.
you able to incorporate any of your the Mexican side into what you do, or?
It just hasn't come across with artists. I haven't really booked any artists that play Mexican or.
No, but I mean, for you, like when you grew up, learning guitar from your father, was that? Did he teach you like Mexican songs, or
He
was
did
it?
not. It was all the Eagles, Jackson Brown,
course,
Tom
yeah.
Petty.
Yeah.
Like that's how. Those are the formulas I go off of. Keep it. Don't bore us. Get to the chorus, like Tom Petty says. Very
Yeah.
simple. So yeah.
Nice.
But that's a good question. I never really considered that. Yeah.
And when you do come into town, you tend to go to the island of Kauai. What makes Kauai so special?
I don't know. I like to think of each one as they've got a lot of different energy. Like
Yep.
Oahu's very lively. Maui's just like so many ecosystems. It's crazy. Big Island we went to last year, and I really loved it. It's got like a really young energy. Kind of. You can also kind of feel like a little historic. I don't know what it is. It's very cool.
Did you do the whole island, or did you just do?
We did. We stayed in Kona. We went to Hilo for a night. That was really awesome. Loved it there. Waimea for a few hours.
Oh,
but
nice.
yeah, it was beautiful up there.
Okay, good.
But yeah, something about Kauai. We just love the slow pace, I guess. I don't know.
I love that island too,
Very
man.
slow.
You're very slow paced.
Because our life is not slow paced.
Yeah,
Very-
next is
country.
Molokai, and Molokai
Yeah.
even
I
worse.
would love
You-
to go there.
yeah, you'll get off the plane and just stand there for like 2 hours.
Now
Yeah.
what?
You're like, yep, nope, nothing happening. Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love all the islands.
And then you said that you got married on Kauai.
We did.
Was
yeah.
that a plan? Like you had been there before and said, well, let's go back here and get married.
Yeah, I had been to Hawaii and Kauai before I met him. And
okay.
when we met, I'm like, I want to take you here. It's such a beautiful place. And he fell in love with it too. So the more we came, we're just like, oh, we really want to say our I do's to each other here. And yeah, it's just been our place for a few
And
years.
everybody in your family went, Hawaii?
Yeah.
For the wedding? We'll go.
Ears perked up, yeah.
Yeah.
Very small wedding, like 10, 12 people or something.
And
yeah.
wait, so that's just shortly out of COVID too.
2023. Yeah, we went to Maui during COVID. That was a weird time.
Wow.
Weird
That
time.
must have been interesting.
It was, yeah. It was still fun though. Kept our distance.
What was I gonna say? What did you do?
Nothing.
Just the beach?
Yeah. Oh, I think that was another time we saw John Cruz play, but no, that was during COVID. But yeah, we just hung
Yeah,
out.
if you went to Maui during COVID, it's really different now. So just to prepare you.
Like, that's not the-
If you thought it was kind of mellow on Maui,
Oh, yeah.
you might want to. Yeah, if you go now, it's like
During
oh,
COVID in Hawaii, at one point you weren't even allowed to go on the beach and lie on the sand.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You'd have to be in the water
Oh, dang.
in order to be at the beach
To
during
wash away the
COVID.
germs.
So people would literally stand in the water and read books and suntan
Whoa.
and standing in the water because that was the only place you could
That's
stay during
bizarre.
COVID. Yeah, it was really weird.
I remember one night I drove through Waikiki at night just to see what it was like, and it was weird because
Yeah.
there's nobody on the street.
Yeah.
You're just driving through Waikiki.
Like a ghost town.
There's
Yeah.
usually 8 million people, and you go, "Wow, this
Like
is
the
so
apocalypse,
weird."
yeah.
It really was, yeah.
Really
yeah.
a weird scene.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. That's wild.
And our musicians, I don't know that the music industry kind of recovered even since then. I mean, to now, because it took so long and so many people went out of business. So many places just said, we just can't do live music, and so the comeback from that has been kind of long and arduous.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know
Yeah.
if in the mainland you had the same type of thing happen, but here all the musicians went to live feed.
Oh, yeah, that was
And
definitely
then
a
you could
thing for a little
donate
bit.
at that time, So every day I would watch a concert,
Yeah.
whether it's Tavana or
Well,
or
that's actually what we were
Kapena,
doing
you
when
know?
we were watching all the sessions that
Yeah.
everyone had. We
and
were
it's
like
in their
donating.
house.
Yeah.
And it was such a great.
It was a
thing
good
to see,
concept, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think a ton of people did that in Austin, but I recall seeing a few of them. But we mostly watched the Hawaiian ones, yeah.
Yeah. I
It
saw
got us
some
through
great concerts, man.
Yeah.
That's some really good stuff.
for much less money.
So I've asked this question of many other artists, but I'm an old guy.
Are
so
you?
yeah. So my career was
Not as
back,
old as us, but yeah, okay.
my career is back in the CD days,
I know. I have CDs.
And
She remembers the Eagles, dude.
yeah,
You okay?
yeah,
You
yeah,
okay?
yeah. But so what do artists do now? Like, do I start my YouTube channel? Do I do my Instagrams, or what is the thing to do now? Release singles?
That's a really good that's something I've asked myself, even not playing as much. It's just like, how do I keep something going? And the podcast was one thing for sure. Like, how do I get my voice out in another way and connect with people? And I think it's really just about finding people to talk to. That's how it's worked for me. And then you get to know people, and then you play, and whatever happens from there happens. But yeah, I've had a YouTube for almost like 20 years. I'm like, do I still even contribute to that? Like, who's watching that stuff, So that's a good question. Mine would probably be just the podcast so far.
Your podcast and your music channel that you have,
Mm-hmm.
is it on the same thing or is it separate on your YouTube?
They're separate. My YouTube's just like me
you-
doing covers. Yeah.
Are you familiar with Kovehi?
No.
She's a looping artist from Hawaii, but
Oh,
she's in.
cool.
She's actually in Nashville.
Nashville.
No,
I think-
Nashville.
No,
No,
I think
not
she's
Nashville.
Virginia or something.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. She's in
Kansas,
Virginia,
Kansas.
Yeah,
I got to get her on
Kansas,
the
right?
podcast.
yeah. She's
Oh,
in
Kansas, yeah,
She's in the
She's
she's
in
in the
Kansas.
middle of the
Yeah.
Midwest. But
Okay.
yeah.
She had a music channel really popular on YouTube,
really?
and she
Okay.
had a lot of followers. Then she started doing a blog on the same channel.
Vlog.
Vlog on
Vlog,
the same channel, and then the listener base got kind of confused, and she had to actually start her own separate one.
Whoa.
Which is what we did too, actually.
Yeah.
And then when she talked about it, I was kind of interesting because the people who wanted to listen to her music didn't want to listen to her vlog.
What?
But the people that wanted to listen to her vlog not necessarily was her customer base for the music.
Well, I guess that's interesting because sometimes you don't want to know about the artist's life. You just want to hear them do their art, you know? Like, maybe some people are like, that's not for me. But I would find that interesting. I like to know about artists' life and how they are the way they are and why they wrote that song, you know? So that's cool. I got to check that out.
Yeah, she was trying to do like 100 days of vlogging or something straight.
That's cool.
And then, you know, like I've tried to do 100 days of just photos.
Yeah.
Like take a photo a day for Instagram for 100. It's tough. Like to think of things to do. So you could tell she's like trying to think of things like, what do I vlog about today? And I think
for us it was tough just to see John every day.
Yeah.
100 days.
Man.
Just looking like this. Like, okay, make a different face, John. Make a different face.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But she's lived such an exciting life.
Yeah.
Well, she's out in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, you know. Which
It's interesting too because she and her husband bought a building and built like a place for them to live, and then built like a studio where they can create content, and they own this.
because the husband's a
space.
videographer.
Yeah.
You were?
No,
No.
Kavehi's husband.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's a trip because he shoots he shoots her content.
Uh-huh.
She does these music thing, and because she loops, she can do these big grand things
Very
with
cool.
all just her. She'll do some tours. He'll record her for that, and then they put everything
We'll
together.
send you
and-
some links to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
please
trip.
do.
But even so, yeah, we had another girl come on the High Session show, the music show the other day, and even her, she's like, should I get into looping or should I do a YouTube channel? Like everyone's confused as to what to do with their career, you know, because it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna go to the Halekulani and be there 5 nights a week playing, you know, for the tourists.
Right.
Like,
Well, I think because everybody's trying to, at a certain point, tries to figure out how do I make a living out of this, right?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna make a living out of it, there really are you're either a gig worker or you're doing social media content, and
Well,
it
right.
doesn't seem like both things happen at the same time.
As professional musicians, I want to ask you guys a question about the future of AI in music.
Get my
Because
husband
we've
in here.
been
He'll talk all
I've
day.
been fooling
Kyle's
around
our
with
AI guy.
I've been
Oh,
fooling
yeah,
around
I
with
love
Sonos.
Oh, okay.
And it is kind of crazy what
Is it
that thing
scary?
punch out. Yeah. even the lyrics, that some of the lyrics are very relevant considering that it's not written by an actual person. Like I actually tried to write a Hawaii song using references, and the chat came out with lyrics that was pretty relevant to what Hawaii is in the culture. So it's coming to a point where you can't even tell like it's who it's written from or by, you know.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
At least Kyle thinks you can't tell.
But can you guys tell is my question. You know what I mean?
What do you
I don't
When you
know.
hear it.
I'm probably not. I probably heard AI stuff like, oh, that was
Like,
great.
that's awesome.
He sent
Yeah,
us
yeah,
he sent us the song.
Oh,
Yeah, you didn't listen to it.
He
though.
didn't listen to the
I
song.
want to hear it.
Yeah, I'll let you listen to it
Yeah, I wanna
afterwards.
hear that.
Yeah,
That'd
it's
be cool.
interesting.
But it's a very, I mean, the way that the algorithm writes it is it pulls right from all these different things, and then
Right.
it writes this sort of straight down the middle song with whatever topics you put in.
I mean,
so when you listen to it, you go, okay, like if I had to write maybe a jingle or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
something that would play under me while I'm shooting a video of driving in my car in Hawaii, you go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But when you talk about the connection that people get from music, right? Like John Cruz's song, Island Style. There's no way AI writes a song like that because there's too much stuff that's
Personal.
personal to him, right?
Yeah.
Grandma end up, making
Making
lomi salmon,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
All that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. The AI is not going to pull that. Or, I mean, if it pulls it, it's pulling it from John's song, and you go, oh, I heard
I
that
can
in
see
John's
AI
song.
writing a James Taylor song. For
Yeah.
example.
Yeah,
There's no way that's
exactly.
ever
But
gonna
I
Like Fire
think-
and Rain or
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like that, right?
yeah.
You're not gonna.
Yeah.
But I think you can probably feel it. Like if I listen to the song that you're talking about, there's probably something that's like, oh, is this from him or is this from something else? Like for me, I guess it's like energetic. Like, oh, that I don't know if someone wrote that, but I don't know.
It's funny
I could be
because
fooled.
It's still learning, right? Every day it's
Yeah.
getting better and better because it's just grabbing stuff. So the first maybe 5 tries. I'm like, write a song about Hawaii lifestyle, da da da, and every single lyric started off like, waves are crashing in a different
Like
way,
so
right?
original.
More regular. Oh, waves are crashing. I'm like, that's all.
Enough
I
with
know
the
how to
waves.
start.
Enough with the waves.
Start off with the same thing over and over.
That's kind of weird.
But it's learning, you know. So I think in the future it's gonna be like
Yeah.
pretty close, you know.
I think it'll have like a peak and then it'll die off. I think I don't know. Like you said, the emotional, real component will always conquer.
Because you can, you can write something that everybody will go, oh, okay, that's nice. But I think every song that I've ever heard that hits deeper
resonates.
Resonates with you, it's resonating because you listen to it and you go, oh, that came from a whole different place.
Something authentic inside you. Yeah.
Because even even a song like Hotel California, right?
Yeah,
I can't imagine. And I can't imagine taking that song, a 6-minute song that they weren't supposed to put out, and they said, no, you have to put this whole song out. You can't. And I mean, the song is almost 50 years old, and I can't think of anything that you could take out of that song that would make it more impactful than what you hear when you hear the whole thing. You have to hear it in its entirety.
You ever know what this song is about? I heard different versions of what that song was about.
About the Hotel California.
No. One of the versions, I don't know if Henley said it or not, but it was actually coming to California.
Oh, interesting.
The story about coming to California, not the hotel, as California being the thing.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah,
it's a metaphor. He says it's a metaphor from of going from innocence to what was the word? To experience.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Because you come into the hotel, you're tired, you're looking around, you see all this really cool ostentatious stuff, and then you realize, oh shit, I'm trapped now and I can't get out, right? Which is kind of how
that's LA, man.
LA is, right? I mean, it's very much you get taken by the trappings and then you go, oh, okay.
Try to write that song, Sonos.
but that's the part about it that and the interesting thing when you think about it is the lyrics were written by Henley and Fry, but the initial song component, like the riff, is Don Felder. He had this. He said. When I watched the documentary, he said that Don Felder would send them all this music all the time. There was no singing on it. It was just riffs. And they're like...
It's like he couldn't let it go. Like he had to keep sending it and keep sending it. I remember
they're like, dude,
that
enough with this freaking riff already. And then all of a sudden...
with it.
all of a sudden, something hit. And they went, okay. And then they wrote the song, okay, here's your hit. All right, go, bye, get away from us.
See, like you being younger than us, did you appreciate just hearing that? Like that type of music, or did it seem like your dad's music?
Force-fed it by your
dad.
Did it seem like your dad's music at the time, or was it something that you absorbed too?
Oh, it was completely me. Like I absolutely ate it up. Like everything that he showed me. You know, my mom liked disco, my dad liked 70s rock, and and I still like my mom's music, but I was never into like the 2000s stuff when I was growing up. I'm always listening to old stuff. I'm like an old man in some ways, you know. But I really appreciated it growing up for sure.
And then did you get a chance to watch some of it live as you grew up?
Yeah, I've seen Jackson Browne a handful of times.
Oh, wow.
Love seeing him. Saw Tom Petty once before he passed. Saw Bob Dylan, cool. I think once or twice. Jacob Dylan is great. I just thought of him. We just saw him not too long ago. I know he's not in that era, but but yeah, definitely try to see all those guys.
What is it like watching Bob Dylan live? Because
it wasn't that good.
Yeah, because we would complain about him singing all the time, and people always go, "I'm like a rolling stone." Like, you're not watching a concert for his awesome singing.
No,
you know what I mean?
You want him to be the Dylan that that I wasn't even born for. But he was in like a sparkly suit, and I think I was like 16 or something when I saw it, but I still remember it, and I'm grateful I saw it, but it wasn't what I hoped that I would see him as now, Yeah.
Did you get to see James Taylor?
I've never seen James Taylor.
Really?
That's one I would love to see. Yeah.
You better get on that.
I know he's
coming here often.
Is he really? Yeah. Does he live here?
No.
I thought he had a home.
He was just here last year.
A lot of his friends live on Maui.
That's what I thought, right?
But his concert was really great.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I would love to see him.
And there's a certain gravitas that they have, like the older guys have when they come out on stage and they do their stuff. Like they just know they put together a really good band. They come out, and I remember when the concert started, because John and I were both at that concert. But we're all waiting, and we're like, oh, James Taylor, and usually there's like bumping music and people are clapping and they're cheering and stuff. And in this one, the lights kind of dim a little bit, and this old man comes walking out on stage. He's got a hat. He doesn't even have his guitar. He just walks out and he goes, hi. And then he walks and he puts his guitar on and he just starts playing. And we went, oh, wow. Okay. Well, we're beginning the show.
That's great.
And then when they were asking him to play requests, and he goes, well, hold on. And he reaches down and he pulls out this giant board. It's a board. And it's got all the songs that he's going to do written out. And he goes, your song is, and then he flips the board over and he goes, it's right about here. Yeah, we're going to do it right about there.
Actually, that kind of reminds me of a time I saw Jackson Browne, and he has like 20 guitars on stage because he plays in all these tunings. And someone requested something. He kind of did something similar. He pulled out his set list and I believe he like crumbled it up. He's like, the poor bastard that writes my set list. Like, I only play what I want to play when I want to play it. I was like, that's so cool.
That's how Billy Joel was when I saw him here.
Oh, I like Billy Joel.
He just came out with his piano. He was like, what do you guys want to hear?
That's cool.
and then he would play, and he goes, "What now?" And the band would really like,
they would
go with it. Yeah, they would go with it.
That's
so he goes, "Oh, let's try this one. I think you guys might like this one." And he just starts playing.
That's
like
so
no
cool.
set list.
I remember he forgot the lyrics to a song.
Yeah.
And we all went, oh. he just kept going. He goes, well, and he finished the song. He goes, well, that's how you know it's live.
But that's the best concerts because you'll never see that happen twice.
No. It's like lightning in a bottle. Yeah. Very cool. I love that stuff.
So, Mina, your podcast. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
We'll transition over a little bit. So what is the format of yours? And maybe we can experiment and do some of that here.
Please, yeah. My format is basically just what it is. It's artists loving artists. So I will have musicians or anyone that's passionate about their realm come and sit and they talk about a song they love. You guys say you're not musicians, but you love music, so you're able to pull a song just like you're talking about Hotel California or Billy Joel. We sit, we talk about a song, we listen to it together. And I just want people to have the floor to talk about it in the way like this, like we're having a conversation. We really enjoy hearing that stuff. So I just want to give people the floor to discuss it and dissect it because I love doing that. I love talking about songs in such intricate ways. But that's basically it. We pick like 3 songs, listen to, and then I edit them into the podcast. People can save them to their playlist, and it's like with the show in general. So yeah.
That sounds like way too much work for John to do.
I can do it.
John's like, wait, what?
No. We could do a mock version.
You want to make him real uncomfortable? Play a Pure Heart song.
Yeah. Let's dissect a Pure Heart song. Oh, yes.
Let's not do that.
John will be hiding under the table.
Let's dissect Hey Baby.
Okay, well, we can go to and talk about some. I have actually a thought of a song that I could talk about that no one would think that I would talk about it.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
And then we could go around the table. You want
Is
me
it a
to start?
T-Pain song?
Yeah, you start.
T-Pain.
Go.
That's
Not T-Pain.
legit.
That'd be awesome.
Okay, you would not think about me with this song, but I think Mariah Carey's "Always Be My Baby"
Oh my God.
is one of the best songs ever written and one of the best produced songs
That's
ever.
a great pick.
Because when you listen to that song, it has all the elements of a hit. It's very catchy.
It's very poppy.
It's very poppy, but the production is open and airy. It's not full of music. And so you have Mariah Carey at her peak, right?
Yeah.
And her voice is, to me, like, at peak Mariah Carey was one of the greatest voices ever, along with, like, Whitney Houston. There's a reason why they're so popular, because it's very smooth, but she can do breathy, she can do forceful, she can do clear, and she rides that medium of just like pleasant to listen to, but also strong enough that it's a nice upbeat pop song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you have, do 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 do, it's got all that. It's got a catch in the beginning, it's got great lyrics, and if you listen to the production, it's open enough. They don't fill it with too much stuff because she's such a dynamic singer that you just like focused on her voice the whole time. Yeah, it's not needed. They don't need a whole bunch of stuff going on in that song. Right. And so I always tell people, Always Be My Baby is my jam, because it's funny as a musician. I don't know if you do this, but like I have a hard time just listening to a song. Like I'm always like thinking about, oh, what's going on in this song? Why is there this? Why is that playing there? Blah, blah, blah. But I think that song is just such a pleasant song to listen to.
Has that always been with you from the first time you heard it, or did it grow on you?
No, I've always liked that song, but the more I listen to it, the more I've just thought about this is like the perfect pop song.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
interesting.
I love
that's
that.
an interesting choice, but I kind of agree with you in that.
So if you were on my podcast and you told me that was your song, I'd be like, okay, well, do you remember the first time you heard it? Do you remember what you felt when you listened to it? What do you love about it?
You were in a good mood, that's why you liked it.
or maybe you were in a bad mood and it made you happy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't even remember what year that song came out.
You met your wife that day.
No. This is way before then. Yeah, because this is probably mid '90s, right? Probably '93 or '94. So I'm in early high school. Yeah, mid high school age.
I kind of see you blasting that in your car
stereo
in the parking lot
when it comes on.
But
in Kaiser.
That's interesting that it's a high school thing though, because I believe that a lot of us get the stuff that we really love out of that time period. Like whenever you were in high school, right? So there's always like one or two, maybe 5 songs that you equate with your childhood, and you go, that is a perfect song for this, or that is a perfect song for that, right?
Okay, I have a question then.
Yeah.
Okay. So think back to high school.
Yeah.
What is if you had to pick one theme song in high school that you remember and it takes you back there every time you listen to it, what song is that?
I think it's the Goo Goo Dolls.
The what?
The Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, okay.
I think I just love them so much. Or maybe Slide or Here Is Gone. I love Johnny Resnick so much. I think that'd be one of them. Yeah, one of those two.
So for you, it's not. It takes you back, but it doesn't spark a specific memory.
Not really. It's what it makes me feel. I love thinking about like why did he write that or what made him. Like you say the most perfect song is Mariah Carey. To me, the Goo Goo Dolls Here Is Gone. To everyone else, it's a shitty song, but to me, I'm like, every time I hear it, I'm like, that's the most perfect song ever written. And I think about every time I hear it, I'm like, I wonder why he wrote that. I wonder what made him. I know he wasn't sober then. Like I think about all these things. It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Because when Mariah Carey.
No, well, I mean, I'm just saying
Kyle's is a Pearl Jam song for sure.
I
was in high school.
I just brought the Mariah Carey up because I thought it's more interesting than if I said, "Oh, it's a Kyle Creator Boys song," because then everyone would expect that.
So, what is your high school song?
Yeah.
No, so for me, like when I think if you go high school, I have these songs, but it doesn't represent all of high school. But like I remember anytime TLC's "Digging on You" comes on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Really?
I remember I was driving past Coca Marina to go around Sandy Beach because I was dating this girl at the time, and it just makes me think about that. Yeah. And then also Iz's Hene Hene Koaka. I remember driving like past Sandy Beach and it was like sunset and I'm playing that song in my car. So like it triggers these memories for me, but it's not like I had a high school theme song.
Yeah.
You know.
What about you?
That's interesting.
For what?
Yeah.
High school.
Tears for Fears.
Nice.
But my musical stuff was all over the place too, right? Because I became a metalhead when I was in high school. So, intermediate to high school.
What song was on repeat though in your car stereo?
That's a good. Yeah. What song was on repeat? That's a good question.
I didn't have a car stereo because the car I had was so crappy.
You had the
no,
radio.
but I was always into all this different stuff. I know for me it was mostly probably like Kalapana and C&K because I had a neighbor down the street who had a record player and a cassette tape player, and so she would make me tapes of the stuff that I wanted to hear. So I had these two girls who lived next door to me, and they were like my big sisters, and so they would make me recordings of music because I didn't have any of that stuff. So I had Kalapana, and that's why I had Kalapana's album listed in a way in my head because it was the one that we initially got right when we were growing up. And then when they re-recorded it and put it out, they put it out and Going Gone was the first song. And that's not the first song. It's supposed to be in the middle. and it threw me off because I was like, no, that's not where that song goes. It's the hurt. And then, what do I do? And then, you know what I mean? And for us as older people, we remember, I remember albums and the tracks of the albums. Like I remember the Eagles' greatest hits and their greatest hits part 2, right? I don't remember the albums. I don't know what the track listing is for Hotel California, but you play for me, or you show me the order. I'm like, yep. I remember it's this song and then this song and then Lion Eyes and then and
you remember Sunrise,
you remember how they go.
I knew the Eagles live back in front.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one too.
Yeah.
I had all those
you
CDs.
never had that experience of having to record the radio.
Record the radio.
No, she was born in the era where you could just
young.
have MP3s.
I'm
right?
old. I don't know. I'm 37.
That's not old. Sorry, but that's not old. Nice try.
I was waiting for you guys to.
She's killing me over here.
I'm having a heart attack.
But so, because way back when you would listen to the radio, I had tapes of me listening to. There was a station called. Was it? It was K Rock or something. Like it was 98 Rock, and it was. Not because it wasn't 994 at the time, but
so you're pulling from the radio.
Yeah, so you'd play it on your radio.
Okay.
And then you'd put in a tape, and then when they played the song you liked, you would press record and play,
no, I don't think
and
I
then
did
you
that.
could record the song. Yeah. The problem is
plagiarism, isn't it? Or like
copyright? It's a little bit of stealing, but it
funny.
was the only way that you could get those songs.
Oh wow!
So I discovered the Immigrant Song from Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. I
discovered a whole bunch of songs by recording off these things. The problem is, and as a former radio DJ, I'm guilty of this, is the stupid DJ would talk all the way up until the post, which is when they start playing this, right? They start singing and stuff. And so you're supposed to talk all the way up until that point. But as a listener, you're going, shut up.
I just want the song so I can play it later.
So like one of these nights is like a 23-second intro. It's like, and so we're talking through the whole thing, and they're like, shut the fuck up. I want to just listen to the intro.
Well, you as a radio DJ, did you do that too, or were you?
Oh yeah, totally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah, when you're in radio, you know where the post is.
Yeah.
And so you push that post because what it's called forward momentum on a track. So as the song is fading down, that's when you can talk and you take it up to wherever the post is going to be.
Okay, so it's a formula you have.
Yeah, because otherwise you're stopping the music and you're talking. And every time people are in their cars, the reason that they switch off is either they're listening to the DJ talk or there's a commercial.
Interesting.
Right? So if you forward momentum it and you have a song coming and then the next song coming, if the guy's talking in between all that stuff, it's fine. You just let it go. It's okay.
Yeah, people won't change it because they want to hear the next song.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Fun fact.
it's a very different way to listen to music.
That's cool.
The Goo Goo Dolls, they haven't released anything in a long time, huh?
Yeah.
They've released a couple. They're nowhere near like those hits from
the heydays,
90s. Yeah, but I love Johnny Resnick. He's such a good songwriter.
I didn't know that he had a substance thing.
He did have, he was an alcoholic for a long time, and he's been clean, I think, for like 12 plus years, and he had a kid and stuff. But yeah, he sings so much better now that he's not like.
I saw him do a video, and they were doing slide or they were doing something.
He looked pretty good.
He was looking at a kid in the audience, and the kid's like, "Let me play," and he goes, "Can you really play?" Did you see that one?
That's like my fantasy. I'm like, God, just let me play slide.
And he's like, "You better fucking know this song, man!" And he brings the kid up, and the kid starts playing. Goes, "All right, you can play."
You know what's the most frustrating
He crushed it.
about Goo Goo Dolls is
their name?
Weird tuning.
Oh,
like
yeah.
For you know, like Name?
Yeah.
I learned that song.
That's the first song I ever learned on guitar.
But to keep playing that song, you have to retune the guitar for like 5 minutes before you actually can
He has all these weird tunings like that.
Oh.
So now, if you tell me to play it, I'd forget it already because I was too lazy to keep retuning my guitar.
Yeah. Those were good to learn, though, because I was like learning the opposite of like what you're supposed to do, with open chords.
Oh.
But yeah, it does take time and commitment, and you have to be patient, I guess. But I haven't done that in years either, so I don't feel bad.
Yeah, and see that I think as guitar musicians, I'm I'm fawning over your husband because he's a drummer, but because that's my thing is the drums. But
he loves it.
Listening to you guys talk about the tunings and the fact that Jackson Brown has like 20 guitars because he's like, okay, I have a different tuning. It's hard for me to sort of think about it in that way that there's a different tuning. I mean, for us, it's like you hit the drum and it makes a sound.
Yeah.
That's the sound you're gonna get from us when.
But also, I mean, he has different drum setups, different cymbals, and I would imagine it's kind of similar to you guys. Like, oh well, I'm trying to get this sound, so I've got to take this cymbal off and put this kit up.
I'm not that good.
Oh.
You get what you get.
He's very intricate.
He's a professional, so yeah.
You know, in your podcast when you're deciphering songs and stuff, how do you negotiate the copyright for it to be on YouTube?
You know, that's a really great question because so Artist Loving Artist actually took a hiatus. This is the first podcast that we're talking about it again. And I just happened to reach out to John to see if he wanted to do it, and I'm so happy it worked out this way. But Spotify has taken away the ability to put the full song into the edits. So when I go back, that's my thing to figure out. Like, one way or another, I'm going to have a song in there, even if I get... Because I would get cease and desist from, like, Warner Brothers and stuff. Before Spotify had the platform, they took it away. So I've talked to a couple people about the copyright issue, and I think I have it figured out. But it's been a struggle because the podcast was going so well, and then it was just, like, stripped away.
I thought if you are commenting on it, then it's... Because, like, you know, like, that's how YouTube gets away...
What is his name? Rick Beato?
Yeah.
Beato.
That's how he gets away with his thing. He talks
okay.
about the song over the song, or two.
Oh, you have to do it over the song.
Yeah, because I think if you're providing commentary, then it's public, it's free use. But
he would stop.
But there's some artists who don't even care. Like it doesn't matter. Whatever. The Eagles is the main one. Is they don't allow you to play.
Even when you watch YouTube and there's the one where this young singer is listening to like Pearl Jam Black for the first time.
Yeah.
And then
it's
they
like,
play
how
the
do they
entire
get
song.
that? Yeah.
But she stops and talks and then replays and talks and goes back to it.
I know there are loopholes, and I know there's only like certain amount of time you can do it, but I don't want to make the same mistake again and have it like a whole... I just want it to keep going, so I'm going to figure it out. But that's a great question. It's still in the works. I don't know.
The reason why you use Spotify because you can play the tracks?
Because they were allowing us to use full tracks, and it worked really well with the podcast because you could like listen to the song, save it to your playlist. We're talking, the music starts, it comes back like, all right, what do you think about that song? It was a flawless setup, and I don't know why they took it away. So,
I mean, it must
you were
have
getting too popular, apparently.
Yeah. No.
It must have got hit with something.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle Devon, why don't you give us a song that you can break down?
No pressure.
You guys are music lovers.
Yeah.
God, I don't even know. For real.
Assuming you're going to do a Pearl Jam song.
Well, let's go with Black.
Okay.
That's a pretty heavy song.
Tell me about it.
It's heavy.
It's black. It's a song about lost love in a deep, dark place. Yeah. And I don't know. When you listen to him sing, you can feel his
pain.
His pain.
Yeah.
You know.
He's good at that.
Yeah.
He's really good at that.
I mean, I don't think he's the best singer in the world, but as far as a voice that really comes across,
he emotes. Yeah.
Well, we mentioned this on another podcast, but I was watching. There's a YouTube channel. I'm sorry, I don't remember the guy's name, but he's like a engineering expert, and he shows everybody who's using auto-tune on their vocals, especially people who do it live.
Sounds like Beato.
Yeah. And but he used Pearl Jam as an example
Eddie
of
Vedder,
like this dude is just singing.
Yeah.
There's just nothing
There's
on
nothing.
it, you know?
He's like, I can't find anything.
So something like Black and maybe like Everlong by Foo Fighters. Those two songs really emote that kind of feeling, but it's all it's simplistic vocals. It's nothing, like Mariah Carey or anything. Yeah. But to me, it impacts me a lot emotionally when you hear it.
And do you remember the first time you heard Black?
Probably during the 10 album, which was 1990.
Cool.
4 or 5. I mean, it came up as a Sneak Attack song in the album. And then when you hear it, you're like, whoa, where is this thing coming from?
Well, that album kind of came out of nowhere, right?
Yeah. But, the other songs was in that genre, like grunge, drama, like the Nirvana kind of Soundgarden kind of sound. But the Black just kind of like took you to another place.
Interesting.
Yeah. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't Eddie Vedder live here?
Yeah,
or Molokai?
Time to time. Yeah, he'll go back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
He actually you guys didn't watch that video I sent you, did you?
No.
It was a hysterical story, because he's talking up. He's sitting playing. It was like in 24, but he's standing on stage. Or sitting on stage, and he said, yeah, I went to the market the other day, and I just didn't want to be bothered. And he's actually a really nice guy, right?
Yeah.
He just, but he said, I was just going through the market, and I didn't want to bug anybody, and I just wanted to get my shit and go. So he said, I got my groceries, and I'm walking, and as I'm going through, I notice these people, and they're watching me, and they're looking really closely, and I start going, oh shit. So he goes, now they're gonna come up to me, and they're gonna talk to me. So he said, so I just. I just kept my head down, and I just kept moving, and I got my stuff, and I was getting ready, and I was gonna leave, and they just kept getting closer and closer, and I was like, oh fuck, here we go. Because the guy walks up to me and he goes, sir, you have our cart?
Yikes.
He grabbed the same stuff as them, and he took over their cart, and they're like,
That is so funny.
Did Tovana tell you the story when he met Eddie?
Yeah, I was gonna tell you guys, if you haven't heard that definitely. I love that story.
Yeah.
It was amazing,
Yeah.
and he's such a big fan of his, and like their collaborations. It's just amazing.
Oh.
I love those stories.
Yeah.
What, he ran into him someplace?
Yeah, playing in Waikiki, he had a gig, and he was in the
Yeah.
audience, Eddie.
Whoa.
And they went up and sang, so he got it on video.
Nice.
That's how they started like connecting and
Yeah.
playing together. He
Well,
just
'cause-
loved
and then
Tovana.
I mean, when you listen to Tovana for the first
Yeah.
time, I don't care
Oh,
who you are,
yeah.
you're gonna be
his
blown
foot
away.
drum and the
You know.
thing, and you're
It
going.
was amazing. Yeah, he's
That
amazing.
dude's amazing.
And he was so nice.
Yeah.
He's such a nice
Yeah.
guy. Yeah.
And his mom feeds cats.
His mom feeds
A
cats.
lot of cats.
That's cute.
Yeah, a lot
So-
of cats.
So Tavana and I went to high school together.
Did you really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
it's funny because, he was a scrappy young dude. Got into a little bit of trouble back then. And then,
With my mother, probably.
yeah, probably when your mom was principal over there.
Oh my God! Wow.
But then he turns out to be like the nicest guy ever. So you never
He
can
got
judge.
it all out of his system.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that
Yeah.
with a lot of people.
Sure.
Plus, he got married and he had kids, and it's hard to be
That's
really
true.
angry
No
all the time
choice,
when you have kids.
Yeah. It can go the other way too, though. I remember, you probably had these experiences too. I remember there was this girl in high school. She was super quiet and like kind of, more book smart, if I can put it that way. And then like we got to college, and I'd see her at parties. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Who's
And
that?
she
Yeah.
went the other way.
Oh,
like
wow.
got into the social life,
There you go.
Okay.
I mean, both worked out fine. She's cool, but I was like, oh man,
Like,
I
she's
didn't.
still smart, so it's okay.
Yeah, she's still smart, but I was like, oh, okay, I didn't expect to see you here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How interesting.
Yeah, you never
Yeah.
know with people.
Okay, Dav,
Yeah.
bring up a song. What can we talk about?
Gosh,
The
there's.
Kikaira theme song.
I know, right?
Zeppelin, maybe.
Oh yeah, Zeppelin.
Not, I don't know. Yeah.
No,
something
actually,
reminding me of-
Zeppelin. I did not enjoy until I got to college, and there
Oh.
was a girl who was in
there you go.
our school who I mean, she was nice, but I didn't know her very well. But she was super into Zeppelin, and I started going, that's actually much more complex. And what was interesting too was when I heard Immigrant Song, it's like a heavy metal song
Yeah.
almost, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that it was Zeppelin
Oh.
until way later on, and I went, this song, Immigrant,
Wait a minute.
because at the time that was one of those like needle drop things. I recorded it on my thing, and I just so happened to record 4 hours of this show, and in there was that song, and I went, oh my God, this is awesome. I think for me it actually might be Metallica.
Very cool. That's not what I expected you to say.
Black
That's cool.
Album?
No, like Kill 'Em All.
Oh.
Because Hit the Lights, Whiplash, those songs, just because I'd never heard anything that aggressive in my life. And if you had never experienced anything like that, it blew your mind off,
Yeah.
because you're sitting there going, wow, people actually
hell is
do
this?
this kind of music.
Yeah.
And the guys
In a
and the
good
guys
way.
at the time were not that much older
Yeah.
than me. I mean, they were 19, 20 years old, and yeah. And I remember that because it opened this world for me of, because I was listening to Kalapana, and Billy Joel was a big influence on me when I was very young.
Love that.
And Michael Jackson too.
I love Michael. Yeah.
And it took me a while to be able to admit to Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson was really cool, and then he wasn't cool, and then you had to not tell people that you like Michael Jackson, and
separate the art from the artist from the
art.
Well,
no. I just mean, when disco.
There was a time, from like 92 to 96.
Yeah,
he
not
wasn't cool, really?
No, it was not cool.
But just like me, I love George Michael, but I'm not gonna say that like.
He's awesome.
Too late now.
Great.
I like George Michael.
Good singer.
R.I.P.
But
dude was a great.
But
musician.
Whiplash, the timing changes, I don't know if it's chord progressions or whatever, but just the way that they did the music was something I'd never heard before. I mean, and granted, they were at the forefront of all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff is a little too much for me now, but I still remember how that stuff made me feel.
I just read an article. I guess Metallica did and this is recent, within the last month.
Yeah.
They did some kind of concert in some probably Eastern European country or whatever. And everyone was jumping so much that it registered a small earthquake.
Oh my God.
That's Argentina.
That's
Argentina.
crazy.
Yeah, they were
nuts.
doing. Oh no, that's Virginia.
Virginia?
Yeah, that happened in Virginia.
Oh
Virginia, because Virginia Tech, when the team comes out for football, they play Enter Sandman.
Oh, cool.
And when they play Enter Sandman, the kids jump up and down. It's the thing that they do.
Yeah.
But it's for a football game, so around the stadium they do that.
Whoa.
They played their first show in Virginia at that stadium, and if you can imagine it, it's the stage and the whole thing is filled with kids, and so you see them start they actually played it when they came out, and then they played it live for the audience, because you can't not play that song. And they said the kids were jumping so violently that it registered on the Richter scale.
Wow.
It was crazy. And they're making so much noise.
I think they can collapse on them too.
Yeah, if they'd done that at Aloha Stadium, we'd be
it'd just be rust everywhere.
Yeah.
Very crazy.
But
I love that.
the music thing for me is hard, because there's so many, as a person who's, I don't know, like tied to the music as a work thing and as a fun thing, there's so many different eras, I guess, to it, because we old too. So there's there's this high school era, there's the college era.
Didn't know you were going to be quoting
music.
Taylor Swift on this.
Yeah, there's me actually working in radio, because when I started working in radio is when I had to learn about local music. I had to learn about his band and Israel Kamaka Vivole. I had to learn how to pronounce Israel Kamaka Vivole because I was saying it wrong. I don't know how many times, but it's. So my appreciation of the music, especially after you get to know the artists and find out their process, and then even in the course of doing this, I have new appreciation for what they do. So I have to play a track for you. When John, I think you guys are still in. No, you weren't in high school. When John had started with Pure Heart, and he and Justin had just kind of become friends. Justin went over to John's house, and the four of them recorded songs together, and
sweet.
they recorded a version of "When Can I See You Again," which is the Babyface song.
Yeah,
right?
It's a great song.
It is not available anywhere because they never got clearance for it. But it is
we just never recorded.
But you can hear Jake and you can hear Lopaka.
You have that on your phone?
Yeah, I have it on my phone.
I want to hear it. That's awesome.
I think I threw that up on SoundCloud somewhere.
No, man, it's not available.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah, because you guys never produced it.
No.
He gave me a copy and then he lost his copy. So I'm like, "Do you still have a copy of this?" He goes, "No." I'm like,
Devin has the only copy.
Wow.
So I have the only copy, and it's, but music is one of those things that you can do that with, right? It's this.
Yeah, it's a capsule. Like,
yeah,
you can put it in different boxes.
Willie K gave me that same thing when he recorded "A Holy Night," which. Some people would argue is the best recording of that song ever. He recorded it actually as a Christmas song. As a Christmas gift to people. So he made all these tapes, and he said, "Hey, Merry Christmas," and he gave you this tape, and you listened to it and went, "Holy shit, this is amazing!" Because I don't know if you ever heard it, but
I have not heard that version. No, and I love that song.
I cannot. I don't feel it's Christmas until I hear that song.
Really?
And he sings part of it in Hawaiian, but he goes to levels I have never heard before. And because he had operatic training, he can do that song in a way that nobody can.
Every
do that
year
song.
you hear
That's
that song,
crazy.
your hair will stand up on your.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
It's an
I love that.
amazing.
So we'll play that for you, and you can hear.
We'll
it.
do a Christmas
Well,
episode.
Yeah, and before we do that,
Oh yeah.
we have our. So we're wrapping up here.
Yeah.
But we have a question for you.
Sure.
So we asked all of our guests this question.
Okay.
If you were stranded on a desert island for all of eternity and could only bring 3 albums to listen to for that time,
Wow.
what 3 albums would you take with you?
Is it weird that I know it right away? The answer.
No, that's great.
We
We rarely get that.
It can't be greatest hits.
No.
Yeah. Or live.
Oh.
Jack Johnson from Here to Now to You. I love Jack. He's such a
Great.
hero. He's like one of my white whales for the podcast. One day I'll get him. Jackson Brown, Running on Empty, and Goo Goo Dolls, Gutter Flower. Those have got to be the 3. I could listen to those.
That is the quickest we've ever had an
Yeah.
answer.
I know,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
People usually have a hard time, but those are good.
I think
Those
way
are
too
all good.
much, yeah.
I could cruise
a
on
great
that island
question.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Well,
love
thank.
Can we have her? Do you mind having her play? Is that cool?
Oh,
That wasn't part of the plan.
I know, but we
Devin.
don't care. It's our podcast. We can do what we
if
want.
he plays,
Aha! See, we usually know that's what happens, and that's the part he freaks out about.
why?
No, I'm not. No. Okay. Thank you, everybody. For,
I tried. I tried. I tried for you.
we can do it
Oh,
off
man.
cam, but thank you, Mina. for
No,
coming.
thank you guys so much. This was awesome. So appreciate you guys. Thank
Okay.
you.
To everybody, we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye bye.